So, hello and welcome to Gamers Assemble. What episode even are we on anymore? 9?
Nine!
Wow. I'm Inara. I'm your host today, and I'm joined by Botwist and Tiggs.
Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby
Tiggs, you're
shark, do do
unironically
do
my
do
favorite
do.
other member of this podcast. You have so much energy.
That's why
So
my
much.
nickname's Tigger.
Oh, goodness. The wonderful thing about Tiggers and all that. So, we're having a good time here. We're going to be talking about my favorite topic, but a little bit of housekeeping. So, some questions for you guys, the viewers. Since the PS5 is coming literally on Thursday, would you like us to do anything PS5 related when Beardy gets his console? Also, I will be getting one as courtesy of my new job.
Yeah, right. Rub it in.
um, if you'd like us to do anything PS5 specific, maybe talk about like the console pros and cons of maybe upgrading now or waiting, yada yada. Let us know in the chat or hit us up on Twitter or the places you can hit us up at. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Like, share, follow, and hit the notification buttons, especially on YouTube, because that bell is required or you will never know when we upload.
Ding 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 ding
YouTube
ding.
doesn't like to tell subscribers to channels when that channel has uploaded content. It's very irritating. And get in touch with us. We're all pretty active on Twitter for the most part. And you can also hit us up on our Instagrams. I know I'm super active there. I post a lot of work-related things. Don't worry about it. And let us know what you'd like to see us stream, because we're going to start doing like chill gaming streams sometime in the future, like pretty regularly. It's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah.
So our topic for today is microtransactions and DLC. We're going to be talking about whether or not the group of the three of us think they're good or bad for gaming, and what kind of their effect on the industry has been, as far as like things like aggressive monetization, and the things like the courts saying like loot boxes are gambling. We can talk about Battlefront 2 if anybody wants to do that, because that was a good time that resulted in the most downvoted Reddit comment ever on the history of the site. And talk about our positions. These boys know my position, and my general position is that microtransactions and a large amount of DLC these days are bad and predatory and aggressive and awful and anti-consumer. But before I jump up on a pedestal, let's get a brief overview of how these two feel, because I'm gonna turn into Jim Sterling real quick.
Go bot, you go.
Well, I don't really mind microtransactions, but I prefer them to be more cosmetic based. As soon as they have anything to do with stats in the game, how well you can compete, or how well your character is, it becomes really not fun. For me at least.
Pay to win is garbage.
Yeah,
Pay
pay to win is garbage. Which sucks, because I play a couple of pay to win games, but I like the challenge of trying to do as well as I can as a free to play player in games that are more pay to win. But then eventually you usually hit that wall. Eventually. But I mean, games that it's more cosmetic, and it a lot of it to me feels like, does the game charge a subscription cost already? Like World of Warcraft, I mean, has, I believe, their paid version now, and then they have their non-paid version, if I remember correctly. And they've got all kinds of cosmetics you can buy with real money. In most games that I've played, you can buy cosmetics. And that never bothers me. Like, my League of Legends account is probably worth way more than it should be with how many skins I have and how many I bought. And now when I look back at it, I feel a little silly of like, I really didn't need to spend $15 for that skin.
I totally did not sell an Overwatch account that had every single skin in the game unlocked a year ago.
Oh,
and
you
totally
guys are like,
money,
you guys are like total fucking.
And we don't want to talk about how much money it costs to unlock every Overwatch skin, because they use the loot box system.
Oh yeah, that is loot bot. I didn't like the loot bot system.
They made it so that you at least get one new item in all of the loot boxes. You won't get like 4 duplicates unless you literally have everything already, but
Mhm.
sometimes that one item is a spray for a character that I will never use, or an emote for a character that I will never use.
I
'Cause
quite like
it's got,
I like the
32
emotes.
characters in it now, 33.
I've not played Overwatch in such a long time. I really used to enjoy it. Tracer here. You ever get that feeling of
took a break.
deja vu?
I took a break. I needed a break for my mental health.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It gets really intense, doesn't it, whenever you're playing that all the time?
Yeah, I played pretty competitively. So Tiggs, how do you feel about
Oh,
microtransactions?
microtransactions. So, I play a couple of little mobile games that are free to play. Like there's a Disney emoji one that is great for passing time if you're sat somewhere waiting for something, and I'm just like hooked on
The
it.
Disney emoji blitz or whatever.
Yes, it's
I
such.
unlocked the Kingdom Hearts emojis in that a while back. Yeah.
They're special ones. I missed it whenever they came on. I was so annoyed.
It was like the year the game came out, like the month the game came out, they just popped them in. You could get like Aqua and
You can get Aqua, Sora, and
the Heartless,
yeah,
which is the cutest one because I'm
yeah,
gonna be honest, Shadow Heartlesses are super cute.
yeah, they are
Evil,
cute.
but cute.
Evil but cute. But yeah, so but I don't really like bot. I don't really go for any of the pay to play. I just wait till my heart's refill or whatever. But DLC, I feel very strongly about DLC. So a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when we started playing games, games were released as a full product. A full product. Yep. So now, these days, what we get is not a finished product. First of all, day one patch 10 gigabytes, and you're like, why is there 10 gigabytes that I need to patch in this like immediately? Then the next thing is, oh yeah, and you can buy the season pass. So not only are you paying for your game to get the full story, you have to pay for a season pass, and you're out 100 quid before you're finished. And
if
some
he's
of
lucky enough to have a season pass and not just like a bunch of DLC thrown at you all
yeah.
the time.
And it depends on what the DLC is, right? Okay, so some of them are just like, I think in one of the Tomb Raider remakes, one of the DLC things was literally a tomb. And you
Yes.
paid like quite a lot of money
Yep.
for just one level. And I was like, whenever it
They
first
did
came out,
much better in the third one, where the one DLC you bought was like a whole bunch of extra ones, and some of them were co-op. They were really fun, but
they were good, yeah. And
they
if
were
it,
extra, and
yeah,
extra should be what is in DLC. Extra things, not
y-
things based in core gameplay,
yes,
and not things you need. Mass Effect 3 was an awful example of that because From Ashes, the DLC where you got, I think, Javik, was that the name of the Prothean in the party? I don't know. We're missing Llama. Llama would know.
Llama would know. It
Um,
was a very long time ago
should
I
not
played
have
that
been
game.
DLC because it's like major story content.
Yeah,
The Leviathan DLC, which tells you what the origin of the fucking Reapers is,
that was
was
fucking class.
DLC. It
That
was
was class.
DLC. You had to
That
pay extra money for it. Why?
You had to pay extra money just to be able to do like 2 missions with a special tank, that Firestorm tank or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And like it was that weird, like it went over water and stuff like that. And you literally paid for a DLC that was the main attraction to it. You just got to drive a different vehicle around for a couple levels, and that's it.
Yep.
You never used it again.
They also had one good piece of DLC for Mass Effect 3. It was the Citadel one where you fought an evil clone shepherd, and it was just this like ridiculous,
that
stupid,
was
like
class. I really enjoyed that.
that is good DLC because it's extra. I don't need that to enjoy the game. If I had never played Leviathan, I would never have the knowledge of where the hell Reapers came from in the first place. The main antagonists of the series, I wouldn't have known where the hell they came from.
Yeah. On a side note, happy N7 Day for yesterday, everyone. Happy N7 Day. And the release of the Mass Effect trilogy remastered. Yes, yes, yes. Llama is very happy right now. Beardy creamed himself in our group chat yesterday whenever he saw that. I saw him all over Twitter as well. So
that would
I
be
am
the way
quite
that like
excited.
you and I reacted if they released all the Kingdom Hearts games remastered for the Switch.
Are you listening, Square Enix? Are you listening?
Yeah, Square.
Can you do that?
You probably don't watch these, but Square, hello. But like there's good DLC and there's bad DLC because like back in the day, it's not to say that we never had like expansion content, because we did. One of my favorite pieces of content Blizzard's ever made is the expansion for StarCraft. Brood War was great.
Oh yeah, Brood War was great, but that was
Brood War's-
basically almost an
it was
entire game. Yeah,
It was like
an
a whole
extra
game by itself.
You could play Brood War basically by itself, and
Mhm.
and if you had both of them, you could kind of link them together a little bit.
Yep.
You know, it kind of reminds me of an early DLC. Remember Sonic and Knuckles for the Sega Genesis?
Yep.
Where you would have the one game where you flip the cartridge open and then you put one of the other Sonic games on top, and it was all inside of the system. And that was a way for you to be able to expand your game and do that.
Yeah, like a way, like expansions, I don't have a problem with, because like things like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, expansions have become more of like an MMO thing. I feel like, though there are still like games that have like standalone expansions. The most recent one that's like a single player game that comes to mind is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had Torna, the Golden Country, which you could actually buy as a physical separate cartridge and play on its own.
That's
like you
cool.
didn't need Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to play it. It would have made literally no sense to you because it's a prequel game, but that's fine. Like you could totally, I mean, I guess like it would have still made sense, but it would have definitely have hit different if you had not played 2 before you played Torna. But like most places, it's, I mentioned when we were talking before the show a little bit how angry The Sims makes me just as a whole. Just The Sims 4. Why? Stop it.
Get
Please
ready,
stop
guys.
It
Tell
never
them
stops.
how much it costs to buy all of the. Oh, I
Nearly
need.
$900 worth of expansion content and DLC. And we're
Wowee.
still missing things that the fan base has been asking for since the game was launched. Things like pools, spiral staircases, things we had in other games. Pools we got in a free update. Spiral staircases still don't exist, so we have configurable like L-shaped stairs now, but it's not the same. I want spiral staircases because they only take up one tile in my house. Spiral staircases, farming, which has also been in previous games. The pets expansion for 4 was just cats and dogs. It was called Cats and Dogs because it wasn't really pets anymore. In Sims 3 days, Sims 3 pets had cats, dogs, and horses as interactable pets that you could like play as if you wanted to, which was weird, but whatever. And then they had a whole bunch of minor pets, birds, snakes, fish.
She's stuck. Come on, give us more.
No,
Give us more.
I'm fine. Sorry, I just heard my son making a very loud noise downstairs, but he seems to have calmed down now. He's with his uncle, but I still, I love my brother, but sometimes, I question his ability to make rational decisions.
Good God.
No, my brother's amazing. We've been best friends since he was born, basically. He's 6 years younger than me, so he's still a baby child, but that's fine.
Aw. Hi.
But so you had all this, and then Sims 4 was just cats and dogs. No minor pets, no catching, like, no having snakes, no birds, none of that.
I am so glad I don't play Sims.
And then, no farming expansion, but they gave us Journey to Batuu recently, the Star Wars themed expansion that literally no one asked for.
That looks super cool.
It's also apparently been the worst selling one.
Really?
Like, people were mad.
Why were they mad?
I think the Venn diagram of Star Wars game players and Sims 4 players don't really interact probably all that much.
I mean, I love a good Star Wars game, but you can't make The Sims into a good Star Wars game, because a good Star Wars game is an action role-playing game, and The Sims is a life simulator.
True.
They also were really lazy about it. Like, the aliens, like, the Twi'leks and stuff, they weren't actually aliens, it was just costumes for regular Sims to wear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is lazy, because we already have, like, aliens that are a different life state, like, that are just, like, Sims aliens. You could have done that for those, but they didn't. They just made costumes. Like, they're outfits you can put on any Sim.
So the DLC for Sims seems like it sucks.
It does. And I haven't even gotten to the worst one. After cats and dogs, there was My First Pet Stuff, which was a stuff pack.
Oh, I saw this being released.
that one, half the content in it you could not even use unless you had cats and dogs. So it was DLC for a DLC.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
So you couldn't use. So there were things in
Money.
My First Pet stuff like cat trees and litter boxes
Money.
and dog houses that you couldn't use unless you had cats and dogs, because without cats and dogs, you didn't have cats or dogs to use those items.
Well, that sucks.
They also had what appears to be the second half of a children's bedroom furniture set that was in cats and dogs, because we got like a bed and like a dressing table, like a side table and a dresser from this set, and then we got a desk and a desk chair and like a kid's activity table in My First Pet stuff that had the same exact aesthetic as the stuff from Cats and Dogs. And we'll point out that My First Pet stuff came out like less than a month after Cats and Dogs, so it was definitely content that was already made that was pulled out of the expansion to put into this tiny DLC so that they could make more money off of it.
Oh, wow.
So I might understand now why you have strong feelings about DLC and microtransactions.
I do. Beardy is telling us in the chat to leave the Sims alone. Let's give some people some shout outs here.
Yeah.
No.
Hi, Hector Walo. I can't pronounce
ignore him.
names.
He's
Hi,
not important.
hi, Vagi Silly. Vagi Silly? VAGI Silly? Hi. You can fact check me anytime. I get rumored a lot. I heard a rumor and I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Oh, Sif's in the chat.
Hey, Sif.
Hey, Sif.
Hey, Sif.
Sif's fact checked us and said Mass Effect 1's getting a total overhaul. Oh, I'm so excited. Back to Shepard. He's my hidden man, you know.
Yeah. And Sif has a good point. Fighting games are really bad too. Holy crap.
Oh, God. And Hector was saying that he hates it when they do editions like standard edition for 60 versus the ultimate edition for 100. Yes, I fucking hate that as well. And it includes extra shit that you don't have access to. Oh, yes. Very true. That is very annoying.
Yeah, Beardy's right. Ubisoft is really bad. Standard, deluxe, digital deluxe, gold edition, ultimate edition, like, and they're all different. They all have like different, like, one or two things about them that are different.
So I've got a slight now that we've come on to this topic. So do you remember Final Fantasy VII Remake was released? Right.
Yeah.
So it was superfluous. I can't say that word, but you know the word I mean.
Yes.
Yes, that one.
Yep.
To the game to have like these special summons, like, you know, Carbuncle and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted the 3 summons, I would have to buy a 300 quid deluxe edition with a Cloud figure. And I mean, I loved Final Fantasy VII. I thought it was a great game. I really loved Yuffie. Yeah.
I bought that, not for the summons though. I wanted the action figure. Like,
it was super cool, right?
I collect things, my dudes. I needed it.
It was super cool, but I just thought,
yeah.
Why?
Because I mean, really, what they were selling at that point, in that the cost of that collector's edition mostly comes from the figure, because it was a PlayArts Kai figure, of which I have 7, and they're typically like $150 to $200 a pop. Like,
yeah,
just
they are
by itself, and they're really, really nice, fully posable, very well articulated, very well painted action figures.
How many of them are Kingdom Hearts now?
I have 5 Kingdom Hearts ones and 2 Final Fantasy.
I knew it.
And I have a couple of the Bring Arts ones, which are the 6-inch ones, because the PlayArts Kais are the 12-inch. I have a couple of the 6-inch Bring Arts ones that are only like $70. But my Final Fantasy ones are that Cloud and the Sephiroth that came out like a year before the remake came out.
Very
that
cool.
Was Advent Children Sephiroth. His hair is bendy. It's made out of like a bendable plastic, so you can like pose his hair. It's great. I love him. He's in his box right now though, because I have so many of those figures that I can't display them all at once. I don't have enough space because they're kind of huge. So Sephiroth and Cloud are in their boxes right now, and I have Aqua and Roxas out right now, of the 2 that are on the rotating.
Awesome. Oh, you rotate? Oh my god, you're like a museum. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nobody put Sephiroth in the box, bitch, though.
I mean, he's in a box in the closet right now, so.
Oh my god, is he going to come out? Can you play I'm Coming Out whenever he comes out? I'm coming out.
Oh
Got
god.
length over girth there.
It is. I love those memes.
And then there's the best thing to talk about when you bring up DLC and microtransactions is let's talk about things like Fortnite. I have strong
Gotcha.
opinions, mostly because of who they are marketed towards.
Kids.
Yeah, it's predatory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
It's
parents
incredibly predatory
Yep.
because they exploit the FOMO or fear of missing out of literal children to make money. And those skins are ridiculously priced. For the full skin plus whatever backpack matches it, it's like $30 fucking.
Oh my god.
like V-Bucks or something like that. What is the?
Yeah, the V-Bucks that it costs to
Mhm.
buy those skins is equivalent of like $20 to $30 for like
That
a
must
single
put
skin.
parents under like immense pressure.
Yeah, because like I worked for GameStop for a really long time and talked to a lot of kids about it who didn't have a whole lot of money, and they gave up playing the game because they would straight up get made fun of by other kids for not having the newest skins. Like they would get mocked and picked on because like that's kind of how Fortnite markets itself. It's not like a fun game where you shoot people because let's be honest, the core gameplay of Fortnite, if you took the building out, is really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Run around and don't see anybody for 45 minutes and then die to a sniper you couldn't see halfway across the map.
That's pretty much all battle royale games.
Apart from Spellbreak. I love Spellbreak.
Oh, Spellbreak, the game where I gather great stuff for someone else to kill me and then take all of it.
Yeah. That's what I do as well.
Battle royale games as a genre, that's kind of how they are.
Me and Sif go shopping on Spellbreak whenever we play, and we're like, "Oh, let's go shopping, Sif. It's my favorite part." And Sif's like, "I need me them Gucci boots." Every time he says it, I just in kinks laughing on the other side of the headset.
And like it, then obviously, then you have loot box problems. Games like Overwatch, where yeah, sure, it's just cosmetic, but it's cosmetic where you don't have any control over what you're actually purchasing.
So
you're
I don't
purchasing
agree.
a box with 4 random cosmetic items in it that you may or may not even want.
I don't agree with that massively because I think it's like
It's gambling.
If I want something, fair enough. If I want to buy a skin, you guys have been chatting about buying skins, right? And that is some skins and stuff. And it's why in games you grind to get like this weapon or that thing, whatever, to look a certain way or whatever, because it's super cool. So if I want to go and buy that because it's super cool and it's something I want, and I agree with it shouldn't increase your stats. It should just be like max stat level comparative to what you can get in the game normally. But whenever you're going to buy a loot box, like if I want a skin for one of the characters, like Mercy or something, I want that skin. I don't want to have to spend like
and yeah, like there's a way
quid
to get the skins, like purchase the skins individually, but you get currency to buy them by opening loot boxes.
Yep, that's how League did it for theirs too.
The Overwatch League, like the Pro League skins, work the way that I feel like they should, where when they do like the MVP skin, you can just buy that skin.
That's cool.
Talking about
buy it, and I normally do buy them because the MVP skins are always really, really cool.
CSGO skins, apparently, Hecto's saying, are also really bad. I don't know. I don't play that much.
Yeah, nope. There was a huge controversy not too long ago with some dudes getting arrested for running an illegal gambling website related to CSGO skins. I would tell you more, but I don't have like the news article like pulled up in front of me, but I 100% remember seeing that. And yeah, the biggest problem is you can sell CSGO skins to other players for real money.
Huh?
Isn't that the one where like one knife can be like $300 or something?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, no, there's a marketplace within CSGO that we use with CSGO where you can sell skins you get in-game to other players for real-world money.
I feel like Jasmine and you guys are Aladdin and you're showing me a whole new world.
Yeah.
Only it's quite a horrible world.
There's a lot of reasons. I have like really, really, really strong opinions about the practice as a whole. Because it gets taken advantage of, it gets destroyed, and it's not just games, really, like true like video games, because like Gaia Online had a real big problem with this back in the day too. If anyone remembers Gaia Online at all. Which had a similar problem to CSGO, where players were selling in-game items to other people for real money. Which
That's
also
gonna be abused no
concurrently ends
matter
up
what.
it breaks the in-game economy too, because you're
Mhm.
essentially like, here's this thing I can earn in game, but I'm not going to earn it in game or like actually play the game to get it. I'm just going to purchase it from someone for $10 in
Now,
real life.
is that part of their terms and conditions? Was that okay for them to sell to players
It's
in real
okay
life?
for people to sell for real players. That's allowed. The thing that those two dudes got in trouble with was they were essentially running like raffles and shit on a website, and illegally doing it on their own platform, like separate from Valve, which
Meant they
obviously
couldn't
Valve's gonna be
control it
like,
real
no.
well either.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if you want to talk about games that are ridiculous about that, like the gacha style games. I mean, like I don't know who here plays any of the gacha games where you
I play the
like
Fire Emblem one.
okay, so it's like you can pay hundreds of dollars and still not get anywhere even close to the character that you want.
Yep.
I'm playing Genshin Impact right now, which I love, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm up to adventure
played it
rank
yet.
30. It's a
Me
lot of
neither.
fun. It's a pretty game, and you can actually get pretty far without spending a dime. I've gotten pretty lucky with some of my pulls in the game for characters and such. But the only amount of money I pay for that game is there is a monthly pass you can get for $5 where it gives you a bit of the like hard to get currency and it gives you a good amount of it for like every day, and it's only $5 and you get it for like once a month. And for me, I feel like I used to play for EverQuest accounts where it was $15 a month for just the subscription cost. So for me, spending $5 on a game that I enjoy, considering that the game itself is free, there's no upfront cost, so I can stop at any time, and it's not like I'm out $60. You know, I actually have a bigger issue sometimes with games that I spend $60 for, and I
They
get
keep asking you for money.
well, you pay $60, they ask you for more money, and then you
they're
play
like,
yeah, and then
Please, sir, can I have some more?
and you're like, I've already given you $60, like I shouldn't have to give you any more, and that you do
you mean like
because
Call
you
of
want to,
Duty selling a $2 red dot reticle
yeah,
in
and
a
people buy
$60
it.
AAA title, and people
Yeah.
bought it.
Some of the YouTubers I'm watching for Genshin Impact, I mean, they have already spent in the thousands of dollars on this game to be able to get all the stuff that they need to be able to make their YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. And I just can't see spending that much money on games, like even
There's
good
just
ones.
so, and, you know, and Overwatch is a weird one because the price has gone down. It's not a $60 game anymore. And
Lower
all
entry
the
point.
content updates are free. So I'm not even sure I would be adverse to there being microtransactions at all in the game because I get all the new maps, all the new heroes. Like all of that stuff costs me no money.
See,
Yeah.
that's how
But they have to pay people
Warframe.
to make it.
That's
So
how
I don't mind
Warframe does it.
throwing a
They
little bit of money at Blizzard for all of that work. My problem is that when I throw money at them, I want to know what I'm getting, and I don't want to get 3 sprays for Genji and an emote for Echo, who I don't play as, so I will never use.
See, I never mind when the game gives you the main expansion for free as just part of their product, and then if you want to buy, a special skin for your gun or something, I don't care, because like Warframe, you can buy almost everything in the game. You can buy with in-game currency, or you can unlock it by doing something in the game. All the expansions they give you as part of just playing the game, and the here's what I really like: the stuff that you can only spend hard cash on is the skins that the community has made. So the community makes these skins for like your favorite, Warframe frames and stuff like that, and then they get approved by the company. They get put up on Steam like website, and when you go and you spend $5 to $10 on a skin for your character, it actually goes to the person who made that skin, and you're actually funding their art and their like community.
Yeah, it's like funding mod creators and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine with that, because then it's not going into the pocket of the company. It's going into the person who's making it. You're supporting it. And it's a great business model. Actually, I got to get back into it. But
I don't have a problem with the way Guild Wars 2 does their microtransactions either. One, because you can convert your in-game gold to the premium currency. So like, I don't ever actually have to spend any money. But two, the gem store is like, it's like convenience stuff. Like if you want to have 22 bank tabs, go ahead, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like skins, like completely cosmetic transmog skins.
See, I paid for a couple of those. in Guild Wars 2 because one of my favorite things about Guild Wars 2 was being able to try to be a marketeer, being able to influence the in-game auction house and being able to buy up certain like legend parts. So I had like tabs and windows and Excel spreadsheets and like what am I buying this week? And like I never had to farm anything.
Like that, you don't need any of that stuff.
No,
like your average player doesn't need 12 bank tabs. Like I do because I'm a hoarder, but it's fine. I just hoard all my gear. It's mine. Leave me alone. But like I bought a couple of the skins too. There was this really cool one it was just like a modified version of armor that already existed in the game, but it was like physically on fire.
Wow.
I was like, cool, I'm gonna buy that because I wish to run around and actually be on fire. Thank you.
Girl, you on fire, baby.
That I bought, those were cool. But
good.
Those kinds of microtransactions don't really bother me that much. It's games that cost full price and then ask me for money for a season pass and then ask me for money for DLC expansions and then sell me cosmetics as well. How much of my money do you want exactly?
Yeah.
All of it?
Sif on Twitch chat is talking about pulling Amber in the Genshin Impact game I was talking about, and Amber is one of like the default characters you get with the game. So when you pull one of the default characters out of your like special currency you use, it sucks so bad and it feels so bad. How many copies of Amber have you gotten, Sif?
That's
It feels bad. It feels really, really bad when you get one of the in-game characters when you're trying to get the special ones.
Yeah, I also play the Kingdom Hearts mobile game, which is another one of those gacha games. They do some interesting things with their gacha, though. They're big banners that have like because you pull for medals in Union Cross, and in Dark Road you pull for cards that you use in combat. The medals all have different effects. They're like different attributes, different stats. Some of them buff, some of them copy other. It's a whole lot of complicated. It's very strategic actually in its gameplay and what you use. There is actually kind of a meta in this mobile game because there is PvP, but they have 5 and 10 pull mercies. One, they give me so much free premium currency now that I don't have to ever spend money on it again, but also for their big banners for like the new super powerful medals they release are mercy pulls a lot of the time. So it's like a 5 or a 10 pull mercy. So you get the really good medal you want if you pull a certain amount of times rather than just never pulling infinitely and never getting it, which used to be a thing in that game. People complained and they fixed it.
Genshin calls them pity rolls, but it's basically the same thing. Where after a while you get something.
Yeah. And it's always explicit. It's either 5 pulls or 10. And they tell you ahead of time so you can decide if you want to spend your premium currency on that. Usually I don't. I wait for a medal because I peep the Japanese servers because they get all the stuff before us, and I only pull on ones that end up being meta changing for them. But that's
like
and then in Dark Road you pull for cards, and when you pull duplicates, it doesn't actually suck that bad because it merges them into the version you already have and powers them up.
We're talking about these different DLCs and these microtransactions. I mean, like console games like PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, they have their own genre and their own like variety of different ways that they get you that content. But mobile games and how complicated they're getting and the metas that they're involving, I feel are like the nexus of microtransactions.
That's where they came from.
Yeah.
And people who run mobile games, those are the people that these AAA developers trying to implement this stuff are taking advice from.
They're hiring literal psychologists to be able to figure out ways to make it more addictive.
And they're now and when it was just mobile games, it was still obviously a problem, but I don't think it was as big of an issue as it is when it's my AAA games that cost me $60 that I play on my console that I spent $500 on.
That's my problem. That is you
like a free mobile phone game, whatever. Like obviously there's ways that they use things to take advantage of people who are easily convinced into spending money. However, I'm not really sure that it's on the same level as implementing those things in a game that you've already paid money for.
I don't know. When you start looking at how these mobile games are bleeding over into console games, look at Fortnite. I mean, you can play it on many different platforms. You know,
But it
Genshin
started out as
people
a
have many.
console game. Well,
Yeah,
it also didn't start out as a battle royale. Fortnite is a weird case study
but
in how
phones,
video games are
smartphones,
influenced by
everybody
the market.
has. You know, smartphones, everybody has. Not everybody has a PS4 or an Xbox or
Well,
a
yeah,
Game
but what I
Boy.
mean is when it was just self-contained to that weird little gotcha mobile game sphere,
Well,
I
in the
don't really
original,
think it was as big of a deal. It's
no.
bleeding into AAA titles because regardless of whether or not Fortnite is on phones, Fortnite is a AAA title made by a real-life video game developer who makes things for consoles and PC. Their
Yeah.
primary market wasn't the phone. If it was, it would have been released on the phone before everything else. Most of the people I know who play on their phone played on their consoles first anyway. These are people like there aren't a whole lot of people who are just getting into Fortnite on the phone. And a lot of people are ditching Fortnite anyway, at least in the circles that I run in. Like they've just kind of gotten bored of it.
Shade.
Fortnite
Shade.
is an interesting case study on how the market can change a video game after it's already been released, because Fortnite wasn't a battle royale when it came out originally, didn't have microtransactions when it came out originally, was a physical game with a disc when it came out originally. Yeah, I have
disc?
one. It had
Yeah,
a disc.
I remember. Yeah,
I
I
have
remember.
it in my house. It's worth a surprising amount of money now because it's still sealed because I
Wow.
never played it. It was released. Save the World was released in disc form while it was still in its beta. Because I mean, it was in beta until what, like 6 months ago. But yeah, no. Fortnite started out as a tower defense game on a disc with co-op elements.
Well, I guess that's a good, like.
That's where the building mechanic comes from, because it was a tower defense game. Like,
Makes more sense.
But
yeah.
it's good to see how they adapted and changed that game into what the fans, what people wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I still think Save the World was a better game because it feels less lazy and more well thought out. Like Fortnite just feels like it's aped from stuff that was already popular. And yeah, sure, play into what the market wants, but that's what they tried to do with Anthem, and that game is garbage.
Well, it bricked consoles because I really want to get Anthem.
Even PS4s didn't want to play Anthem. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, and I really wanted to play Anthem, right? And I was like, right, okay. And then I was I was gonna get it, and I was like, I'm getting it. Then people got like these copies of it
They've
before it
abandoned
released.
their content plan for Anthem at this point.
Yeah,
Like all that stuff that was going to come out, they abandoned it.
it was everywhere that it was bricking consoles, and I was like, no way. I am not going to risk my console's life. It's okay, guys, you're fine. I'm not going to risk their lives to
But
play
that's the
that
same
game.
thing. The market trends dictate what games are made, and I'm not always sure that's a good thing, because I mean that's why we have DLC structured the way that it is, and microtransactions in my AAA video games, because it's a market trend.
Yeah.
The way that looter shooters like Destiny were a market trend, and that's how Anthem happened. The way that Battle Royale was a market trend, and that's why Fortnite turned into a completely different game from its original vision.
So what's the new trend?
The new trend, hopefully gamers rising up and saying, I don't want to deal with this anymore. It won't be, because the gamers as a whole are not very informed and are kind of stupid.
Oi, that's our fan base. Don't say that.
I'm just saying, like, as a whole, like, this whole group of people that you could label as gamers, they don't really care about this sort of thing. They don't really realize they're being taken advantage of. All they care about is having a new shiny toy in there. It's instant gratification. It's an era of entertainment and always having something new to look at. We don't care about those things we don't care about the things that are actually important, because this is pretty and I enjoy it. It's why after the Blitzchung controversy, Blizzard just announced a whole bunch of new games, and everyone literally forgot that they backed the silencing of protests in Hong Kong. Everyone just forgot. Nobody talked about it anymore because new shiny thing to play with.
But then, do you blame? Can you blame the? No, this is going way off topic. but that's like blaming the artists that
Oh, I blame
create.
capitalism and rampant consumerism, but that's
Okay,
you know.
fine. But there are people making these people that dev games and stuff. And I'd say gamers, yeah, some of us are a bit misinformed. I mean, I got fact checked last week. You should always fact check me. And I can be a bit misinformed about things. And I do like shiny new things, but my main reason for gaming or how it started was, yeah, it was a bit of fun, and then I realized it was like pure escapism. And now,
I mean, that's the big thing. Is it's
you know,
escape.
and you get to see stories and go to places and visit lands where these stories aren't told in any other medium. The
Well, it
lore,
couldn't be.
they
Telling a
could
video game story, you can't do that in a movie. It would be a
you,
completely different method of storytelling. The story would come across differently. It's what I
exactly.
love about video games.
Same
But
here.
I love them so much that I'm going to punch them in the face until they stop self-immolating, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
But we still got
because-
people that come up with like different ways of doing things, and they just want to
But
tell stories.
Not wanting microtransactions and DLC isn't censoring an artist. It's censoring a publisher that wants
Yes.
to make money off of these artists.
Okay, so we've been very negative about all of this stuff. What's your favorite DLC? I put you in the spot here, sorry.
It's okay. Probably. Oh, that's hard because there are quite a few DLCs that I really like. Some of which I don't think should have been DLCs in the first place. Because I think it's not even just about not liking the DLC as it is. It's whether or not that thing should have been DLC to begin with.
That's where I get stuck as well. I don't like that because sometimes you get the DLC and you're like, this is actually a big part of the storyline.
Like, why am I paying extra money for this? Why wasn't this just in the game originally? But I guess in recent memory, like my favorite DLC or expansion content is probably Torn of the Golden Country because it's like 40 hours of like really interesting, gripping world building and lore and character building and stories and heartbreaking tears, and I really enjoyed it. And I also think that it should have been additional content because it's like a game by itself. It has a completely different combat system to 2 as well. So like they went all out on that.
That's cool.
I was like, it was worth the money I paid for it. Was Leviathan DLC worth the money I paid for it? No. It should have just been in the main game. And that's, I think, where I struggle the most, is it's almost like they're making these things. The artist is making these things, and then the publisher is cutting little bits off to sell.
Yeah. I hear you.
Because the devs make this whole game, and then the publisher goes, okay, but yoink, people will pay me extra money for that, so we're going to sell that separately. And yoink, people will pay me extra money for that. Like, I fully 100% believe if it had not been so heavily criticized that there were no pools or toddlers in The Sims 4 at launch, they would have sold them to us instead of giving them to us for free.
Wow.
I am 100% convinced that if there had not been such a shitstorm about that, they would have sold those things to us rather than giving them in a free update. We would have had to pay for them, even though they're like core features of a life simulation game.
Yeah. But favorite DLC?
I'd have to say probably my favorite is the Heart of Thorns DLC for Guild Wars 2. I really enjoyed it, and you got to take your characters into a jungle environment where for the first time they really used vertical levels, with the jungle being like the canopy, then you have like the lower levels, and then you have like the deep underground levels and stuff like that. And
beautiful maps, really beautiful maps,
yeah,
like very well made.
Gorgeous music. It felt like coming onto a new world when you loaded into it for the first time.
Wow.
And basically, it kind of calls to the question though of like we were talking about, like how games are $60 games and they don't come with everything, and then you have to buy it for $10 here and $15 here, and you get all the little parts and everything like that. And if it's something that comes after the game is created, it doesn't seem to be as like salty. You know what I mean? But if it's something,
a continuation, Guild Wars as a whole by itself, OG Guild Wars, is a complete story about killing an undead dragon
Mm-hmm. And then inside of like those expansions, they have DLCs for getting like certain pets or certain gliders or different things like that. But like these games, they're kind of, screwed if they do or screwed if they don't. Like the Cyberpunk 2077, they're extending their, release date for even further because they want to make the game a really good game, but then they
People
get a
are
ton
really
of negative
angry about
backlash.
that, and it makes me very upset because it seems that when a thing they like might take a little longer to come out, they've forgotten that there is a global pandemic going on, and there's no way the devs could have foreseen that.
And yeah,
Pretty
true.
much.
I think my favorite DLC has, well, the one that springs to mind, Breath of the Wild.
Okay, but like the DLC part or just the motorcycle part?
No,
Because my favorite part of that is the motorcycle.
She went there. She went
It
there.
does not belong, and I love it.
I
so
think
much.
it's absolutely amazing. But like, right, so no spoilers for anybody that hasn't played it, because I thought, do I really need DLC for Zelda? They've brought in DLC for Zelda. Why are they ruining my life? Because Zelda was always complete games that were always very well done, and none of this DLC crack.
Yeah.
And it took me ages before I would buy the DLC.
How do you think I felt about Remind, my dude? How do you think I felt about Remind?
Oh, I know.
Why was that DLC? How come it's just the end of the game? How come it's just the end of the game, but again, the end to Electric Boogaloo?
I'm there. I felt exactly
the
the same way.
first half of Remind is just the Keyblade graveyard again.
I know. I thought that whenever I was playing it, I was like, this sort of, and then you get the actual real ending to everything, and you're like, oh, girl, you should have included that in your main game. So yeah, but Breath of the Wild was brilliant. You had some extra like shrines and stuff to go to, and they were really good fun, and they really challenged your brain. And the end shrine's really good, guys. If you've not played it, invest the money in the DLC. It is worth it. Plus, you get that sick motorbike. Let's be honest, like it is super cool, and you just threw them at me like, like, oh my god, Link's in the motorbike. This is so out of context, but it's fucking amazing. He was a badass in that motorbike. Imagine him pulling up to take Zelda out for a date in that motorbike. That would have been well
I'm
good.
gonna get stuck in traffic.
Uh-oh.
I forgot about the Trump parade.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Whoops.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I just heard them outside my house. That's why I was like, oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
This is my life.
So, well, we are getting a little long in our episode. We should probably.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is a little bit shorter than we usually go. I unfortunately have a family engagement I have to go to today, and if you guys let me keep ranting about microtransactions, we'll be here for like 4 more hours, and I don't think.
No, she means
anybody
4 years. You in full rap mode is like 4 years.
Probably years. So let's head out with just a quick. What has everyone been playing this past week? Real quick.
Well, I have been playing Genshin Impact because it's nice and relaxing, and I am continuing to work on my homebrew world for Dungeons and Dragons because soon I will be taking Tiggs, Llama, and Sif through a homebrew adventure that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be another little.
Any of y'all played D&D before other than bot?
I've never played. I can't wait. I'm so fucking excited.
It's going to be a good time. And so everyone can tune in for that, and we'll be doing that as some separate kind of episodes on the channel. And other than that, that's pretty much taken up most of my time.
Fair enough. Tiggs?
Horizon for me. I'm still loving Aloy. I think I'm falling in love with her a little bit, which is a bit
I fell
weird.
in love with her forever ago. Are you gay? She's a lady.
Love knows no gender.
I don't know. I just like. I really want to.
You're gay except for Aloy.
Yeah, I really love her. I think she's brilliant. I just love.
$20.
I'd love to meet her. $20. I love that T-shirt. No, I am gay. I just love Aloy. I've never seen a character have the dialogue options that she's got in any game I've ever played, and I often bust out laughing, and my cats run off my lap, shit scared because they're just having a sleep. So it is so funny. I love her. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a great adventure.
I've been finishing my 100% run on Xenoblade, and by finishing, I mean I'm like 45% of the way done, so I got a while. This game is really long. And I've been playing Cadence of Hyrule because the physical came out a couple weeks ago, finally, and I suck at it, but I'm getting there. It's really hard.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
played.
rhythm.
Is
I
that the
played
Dynasty
demo.
Warriors type version of?
No, it's
Which one
No,
is it?
Cadence of Hyrule is a game where anytime there's an enemy on the map, you move and attack in beat with the music.
Oh,
and
it's
the
Dance
enemies have like
Revolution. Okay.
sort of, but
It's.
not really.
I don't like it. I can't do it.
I love the game. I think it's really charming and beautifully and beautifully done, but I suck at it. So I'm
Do
getting
you have
there.
to have rhythm to play?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't. I got some rhythm. I can throw some shapes, but I just can't do that Zelda. It's just too hard. I'm like, oh no, it's fine. I'll just leave that one.
Okay. So as always, if you have a prompt or you just want to write to us and say something, you can hit us up at gamersassemble@gmail.com or on Twitter @gamersassemble, Instagram, same handle, here in our chat, all of our personal Instagrams, which should be, easy to find, but I'm at Andara Efteria on literally everything. Tiggs, I think yours is like Tigger time on everything.
On Twitter, yeah.
Find me as Batus on anything that's online.
And we got a shout out to Alan for this pretty cool tweet saying that he was catching this on Spotify now and that he loves us. It says, I love your podcast so much. I listen to every episode on Spotify, then actually forgot to follow it and had to check for new episodes.
We've
and then
got
he fact checked Tiggs here. One thing though, the Silent Hill movie was based on Centralia, PA, but the games were not.
Sorry, hang on. Bad Tiggs.
Bad Tiggs.
You bad boy.
I actually live like an hour and a half from Centralia, so I've been there.
I am so coming to visit you because I want to go there. We've also got one Curtis give us a review on Apple Podcasts. So a big shout out. He says he loves the podcast. And he says that we have fun conversations. I mean, we're random as fuck, so that probably does happen quite a lot.
We probably have more fun conversations with you guys without me because I just rant a lot.
We love
the conversation.
And you do you. We love you.
I'm a little ball of rage.
That's okay.
It's fine. It's okay. We love it.
But thank you for joining us today. I have to go wish my niece a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Tell her happy birthday from everybody. She's the sweetest little girl. She was JoJo Siwa for Halloween.
Tell her that her shout out for her birthday was online.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Nevi. Love you. So I will catch you guys later. And thanks to everybody for catching us. And if you're not catching it live, thank you for watching / listening on whatever your preferred platform is.
Thanks, guys. We love you guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.